Early morning, I never want to say, I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. I just can't seem to get enough. No, I just can't seem to get enough now. Dun 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 dun. Yes, boys, we've done it again. It's another win. And, you heard it, it is 4 wins on the spin. How have we done that then? Wickham, Nottingham Forest, Cardiff and Rotherham. We've beaten the previous record. Or not beaten, but at least matched the previous record. Wonderful stuff. It's what you love to see. Can we go and get 5 wins? Imagine. But it's been brilliant. And just bear with me because I'm listening to an FPL video. If you haven't already, guys, followed them, they're called FPL Juice. They're trying to get to 1,000 subs. Once they do, they'll give away a PS5. So, yeah, make sure you subscribe. Great content. They do streams every Tuesday previewing the game week. Very, very good content. But back to Watford. Come on, you Horns. Massive win. It finished Rotherham United 0, Watford 3. So let's start off with the first moment of that game. There was a lot to get through. So, to begin with, it was pretty shaky from Watford. Defensively, we looked quite nervy in our start. A few clearances we had to make. And it was just all Rotherham. We couldn't get the ball off them and they were absolutely peppering us. But it was very early on. Very little happened. And then 8 minutes in, Sarr just breaks down very, very quickly. And he broke free of the marker. He got his shot across goal and it went out for a corner. And then from the resulting corner, 9 minutes. And Sierralta has his first Watford goal. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. It's beautiful stuff, and it's a great header from the Chilean defender. He's Chilean, he cost us 0 million, and we think he's brilliant. Get in, Sierralta. Brilliant. And it was a bit weird, because he scored the goal from an amazing ball in from Zinckernagle. That is class. Zinckernagle is becoming a great player. Every game he's developing into an absolute gem. And that is a great header, but when he scored it, he looked injured, and then eventually he just celebrated like nothing was happening. So he went down with a clash, but then he was fine. I mean, I'll admit, the defending there is not great from Rotherham. He was unmarked, but it's still a great header, and he still had to show his capabilities, and that was brilliant football. So, yeah, Francisco, lovely stuff. Making up for your own goal at the wrong end. You do it at the right time, this one. And once again, we start fast, goal in the first 15 minutes. Beautiful stuff. And then a chance for Rotherham. Angus MacDonald with a header, and it was just wide from a decent set piece, to be fair. Decent chance from Rotherham. And they put the ball into a good area, and maybe he should have done better with it. But it's pretty funny, I've realised. Backman down one end and Blackman down the other. But anyway, talking of Backman, he actually had a really good game. Made some really good saves. And, you know, Foster is now on the bench. Whether he's fully fit, we don't know. We don't know the situation with him. But ultimately, Backman has been brilliant, and he was unlucky to not get a clean sheet tonight. We'll come to that. Obviously, it was the Millers against the Hornets. They're the Millers, like the film, we're the Millers. But no, the Hornets were dominant in this game, and not really that Rotherham were terrible. It's just we played so well, so clinically. And the Rotherham goalkeeper, he looked pretty nervy in that game, in the set, especially early in the first half. So it was worth pressing him. It was worth chasing down every back pass. And to be fair, Watford did just give away too many silly free kicks, and it was making it nervy. It was giving Rotherham a chance to get back in the game. But ultimately, defensively, we looked fairly solid throughout the night. 26 minutes in, Ismaila Sarr. What a great finish that is. And it's 2-0 to their Golden Boys. It's just like the reverse fixture when we played them at the Vicarage Road. I went to that game because that was one of the few where they had 2,000 fans. Very, very lucky me. But just like that game, we get 2 goals early in the game to basically stamp our authority on it. And yeah, it's lovely to get early goals. And we got the goal on 26 minutes. And the difference is, I think, in this game, Rotherham to start with, they weren't that bad. In the reverse fixture, they were really passive in the first half, and then they upped their game in the second half. But wasteful finishing meant it was all right, and you know they kind of did have a bit more control in the game. Watford kind of took their foot off the pedal, didn't have as much tempo in their play, but Rotherham didn't capitalise. But they actually did play quite well. So Rotherham will feel quite aggrieved about that. But Watford, so ruthless. And that just shows Watford even better in this to be 2-0 up as well. They've just been much better, much more clinical. So you love to see it from Watford. And what a finish this is from the Senegalese Ismaïla Sarr. Record signing. He's so instinctive, sharp to react. And it's from the rebound. And he just controls it with such power, such accuracy. Just under the bar. Great finish. Then Ladapo has a chance. He drags it very poorly wide on 28 minutes. And you're just thinking at this point, it's getting quite good. You know, we're getting to the point. Ismaïla Sarr, we know his quality. We know he can completely wreck that defence. When he runs down the wing, he looks like an absolute legend. He's a stealthy lion. He's so fast when he runs down that wing. And it was such a good cross of ZINCKERNAGEL. And yeah, as I said, the first goal for Sierrata is brilliant. And to be fair, the first shot that we made was actually quite good. Well hit, but on the follow-up, Sarr is there. And yeah, from this good save the goalie made, it's great to follow up and to just drive home our advantage. So that was massive. But they had a chance, Rotherham. And then we had a chance. And you're thinking, can we finish it off before half-time and really make this a really easy night's work? And on 34 minutes, some lovely football from Watford. So fluid in our attacking passing. Just looking so nice. And basically, we got it out to Ismaïla Sarr. Absolutely rapid from him. And he just got a lovely little run in behind the defence. And unfortunately, was just offside. But the football was brilliant. And he dinked it. And if it was onside, imagine. Because it was such a great finish. And it went dribbled just wide, the little dink. So, yeah, unfortunate to be offside, but so good. And Philip ZINCKERNAGEL, I said about how he's maturing. He's just so impressive with his trickery. His tackling is very impressive. And he just looks very determined to be a Watford player and really commit to the cause and improve his game. So that's what you love to see. 38 minutes in, and a great effort, to be fair. Very strong shot from Nathaniel Chalobah. And it was originally a diving save. To deny Chalobah. Very good save from the goalkeeper Blackman there. And it was a good build-up from Watford. We had a few chances of getting a shot away after a cross in from Sema. It fell to Chalobah, and that was a very good effort from the midfielder. And just generally, Watford's good crossing is something you like to see. We have had a bit of failed accuracy with that in the past, so that's good that we've worked on that and we're putting it into the right positions for players in the box. 39 minutes in, and we have our third goal. And what a finish this is. You love to see it. And it's Ken Sema, the guy that I captained in fantasy football. Oh, yes, baby. That's what I'm talking about. What a finish this is. He takes one touch, and then bang. We are absolutely flying in this match. And it's a brilliant, just one touch, and then smashes it past Backman on the volley. Lovely stuff. No chance for the goalie. And Sema has a goal. And I had a feeling Sema was going to score tonight. Hence why we captained him. So yeah, that is beautiful. 42 minutes in. A really clever set piece, to be fair, from Rotherham. And we could have been caught out on another day. But basically, they all went in one direction. And then one player ghosted away. Went away from the crowd. And ghosted away. But he was able to get a shot away. And it was kind of... He just tried to hit it as hard as he could. And he couldn't really get the direction in it. And it went straight to Daniel Backman. So he got his body behind it. But yeah, that could have been an opening if we hadn't been more careful. 43 minutes, Pedro just couldn't quite tip it round and past Backman. After really good positioning and a good phase of passing from Watford. And he timed the run really well. But he just couldn't quite nick it past him. And then a really good ball in from Rotherham. You know, Backman does very well to punch it away from the danger area. And then I think we get away with it. We get away with it big time because it could have been a goal from a penalty that lets them in the game just before half time. And they did score their goal in the second half, and they also got a penalty. So I'll talk about that later. But the point is, it should have been a penalty here. I mean, I can say all I like that Massini didn't mean it, but I think he did. It looked like he just moved his hand towards the ball. So whether he meant it or not, you can't do that. And I think we did really get lucky there. So, you know, we haven't had much luck this season, but we'll take that one. And then Rotherham, I think they just didn't really deserve to be 3-0 down, but we were just so good, you know, what can we say? So it's a good first half from the boys, really nice, and, you know, Rotherham had nearly moments in that first half. They nearly created great opportunities, so, yeah, they weren't certainly a bad team, but we were just looking very flashy and impressive indeed. So second half comes around and you're thinking, come on, let's keep it going. Let's really see this out now, because defensively we weren't being troubled too much. But at the end of the day, no away games are easy, and you want to deal with everyone and, you know, go in front of the game you've got and just dispose of it, really. Dispose of the opposition. So 48 minutes in, a great Watford opening, and the ball from Sarr is absolutely wonderful to just slip it through to Joao Pedro. And he's got a chance here of taking a first time shot, catching out the goalkeeper, but he just takes too long on it. And eventually his shot is blocked out for a corner. And it was an interesting decision from Xisco Munoz that he made very early substitutions in the second half. And it wasn't even 5 minutes after that half-time interval that we made 2 subs. 2. And, all right, one of them makes sense because Ismaila Sarr, unfortunately, went off with a little bit of a limp. And, fair enough, you could see that he was struggling with that knock that he got. So, yeah, that was weird. Obviously, Sarr kind of just sat down in a Bielsa style, just crouching down and sitting when really he should have lied down and the ref would have stopped it. But anyway, he went off. Hopefully he's fine. It's just maybe a precautionary one. Gray came on, fair enough. But then Kiko comes off, one of our best players in the first half, and a like-for-like switch for Ngakia. Like, maybe he's thinking save him, but it's an odd time to do a substitution, especially when Femenil was doing so well. So, yeah, that kind of was interesting. Ngakia, I'm all for him getting minutes, but just the timing of it was odd. And if it's not a different formation or a different approach, then it seems a bit weird. And then we will go into the other chances in the game, and I think just going forward tonight, we always look dangerous, which is not the Watford way usually. We are quite nervy at times going forward, but we've just looked much more threatening in the last 10 or so games under Xisco Munoz. We just look like a team that defenders will be scared to face. And, even if we're not playing immaculately in other areas of the pitch, in the defence, in the midfield, we're looking really threatening going forward. So that's really great to see. And just ZINCKERNAGEL, a great performance today. And I've got to say, he's a contender for man of the match. But we'll get to man of the match at the end of the video. Now, it's very interesting because Rotherham get given a penalty. And for me, it's an incorrect decision. All right? That, in my opinion, is never a penalty. Truce de Kong is just trying to basically shepherd it out and, just shuffle it out of play, see it out kind of thing. And the forward, Smith, for Rotherham, just slips. That's my interpretation of it. He just slips and he gives a penalty. And, I think that really wasn't a penalty. But, the referee made his mind up. And I think he at least was guided by what the linesman gave. So, it's just one of those ones you have to take it on the chin. But you're thinking, it's a bit of an annoying way for us to lose our clean sheet. And to be fair, Rotherham barely appealed for the penalty. But, it is what it is. And then up steps the Rotherham man and he takes a shot. And what a save this is from Daniel Bachmann. You love to see it. Bonus points for my fantasy team that I started in for the penalty save. It was a great save. It's got to be said. I think justice was done with that penalty given in that way. And I think justice was done with it being saved. So, it was good for him to guess the right way and make a strong save. He's just been brilliant in the time Foster's been out, and it's a really tough one to decide who plays. But right now, Bachmann is in his momentum, And then there was a little bit of moment of flurry. So after we saved that penalty, it went out for a corner, and then it all kicked off, right? There was just a bit of panic in the Watford defence, maybe because we nearly just conceded, and it's almost like the defenders have just seen how desperate it could get if we are not careful. So, there was a moment where Rotherham just start to get in the box, get a little bit physical, and it was cleared off the line brilliantly by Nathaniel Chalobah, and knockdown, and they just tried to kind of roll it in from a close range, and really important piece of play. Chalobah, we saw how he led the line so well against Cardiff with the captaincy last weekend, but that's a great moment of leadership and a great example to set. And then Watford, just becoming a little bit more lackadaisical. I think that's the word, lackadaisical. In the second half, but I think you can understand it. You know, we did such a good job in the first half. It's easy to, you know, not have the same intensity. So, yeah, we weren't exactly pushing forward in that second half. It's got to be said. But yeah, eventually we found our feet again. 50 minutes in, Router, he nearly had a second. Once again, going very forward and going very far up in the attack. Very strange for a defender, but yeah, he could have had his second, and the shot was actually blocked and smothered on the line. Just kind of got stuck under his feet, did Router, and couldn't just scramble it over. But you know, it is what it is. But then what a goal! What a goal this is from Rotherham. Fair play. You know, it's an impressive one. We scored some very good goals, but this was also a very good goal. And it was completely out of the blue. You know, Rotherham wasn't down their end, and all of a sudden, Freddie Ladapo just comes along and thinks, you know what, Rotherham just not having the luck of the draw, not getting the goals and not getting the clinical nature. I'm just gonna do something about this, and he goes for the shot far out, takes a nick off a defender, I think, and Backman, to be fair, was rooted. He really couldn't have done much, and not much he could have done when it's spinning in like that. It's just a very tough one for the goalies to deal with. And it was a very long-range, surprising goal. So fair play, Ladapo, 68 minutes in, and it's 3-1. But guess what, Watford? We've got that mentality. We always come back stronger. Just 1 minute later, 69 minutes in, and it's a brilliant fourth. And that's the first time we've scored away from home 4 goals in absolutely ages. Amazing. So it's a first Watford goal for Gosling. Dan Gosling, what a legend. Off the bench. And it's a super sub from Cisco. So fair play there. Seconds after coming on, and it's another rebound goal. But it's a very well taken one. Just very quick to react and very clever. And it's great to see him get his first goal in a Watford shirt. So yeah, that was so nice to get that goal and get the 3-goal buffer back. 74 minutes and Router, another chance where basically he, you know, tries to get forward and he just can't quite do it. But with Will Hughes, how has he revolutionised this team? You know, he just loves to pickpocket the defenders and the midfielders and just start our attacks. It's absolutely amazing. And then Rotherham had a great chance on 77 minutes, set piece in, a header, and it goes over from about 2 yards out. It was incredible. You know, maybe Backman would have saved it if it had gone towards him, but still, how he missed that I will never know, because basically he just came storming in and he actually did collide with Daniel Backman, and for a second I thought, oh dear, this is not good, we're going to have to see him off on a stretcher, but he was alright to carry on, luckily. Yeah, again, with the Ladapo goal, I think unlucky to not get the clean sheet, but still a very brave and a heroic performance from Daniel. And then 86 minutes in, another chance for the substitute, Andre Gray. It's a difficult one, I suppose, maybe a tight angle, but he is just collecting the ball. He's got all the right build-up, and then the final product is just a little bit rash, and he fires it wide. Generally, Pedro had quite a quiet game today, so yeah, not one of his best ones. And then 89 minutes in, Gray was unlucky, just didn't quite get enough on the header, and it's fairly comfortable to just go into the arms of the goalie. And then right at the end of the game, a free kick for Rotherham. Sadlier, very, very good effort, just over the bar. So, yeah, not too far away from Rotherham. And, you know, I think Rotherham fans shouldn't be disheartened. The scoreline makes it sound like you were terrible, which you weren't. But I just think we were just ruthless tonight. And that is a great, you know, side of us that we're showing. So, hopefully, we find that more often this season. We can get our promotion. But I've got to say, it is a potentially massive night in our promotion bid because results have gone our way. Swansea, unlucky Swansea, it's got a sting because they did, of course, start to falter in that game against Bournemouth. And it's finished Derby 2, Brentford 2, which means we're still second. And as it stands, Swansea are still losing 2-0. So it's perfect stuff. With 15 minutes to go of that one, Joel Latiberadure, if you can even pronounce it that way, own goal, unlucky, mate. Yeah, it's a great night for Watford, and it's good to see us get the win. So it's 7 points now to Norwich. They've got the game, obviously, tomorrow against Forest. Come on, Glenn Murray. Come on, Chris Hughton. Do us a favour. You might as well. But generally, yeah, very good performance from Watford. We were so efficient in that first half. looking so threatening. And, of course, we got our final 4th goal through Dan Gosling. So, man of the match for me, it's a tough one. I'm starting to think that maybe it's Ismail Assar, but part of me also wants to say Philipp ZINCKERNAGEL. So, I think it's a tough one, to be honest. I'm going to give it to Philipp ZINCKERNAGEL. I didn't think I would, but I just thought his performance all round today was so good. That cross for that first goal was brilliant, and he just looked very, very determined to prove himself and to just play for the badge, and that's what we want to see from every player. So, yeah, Philipp, you're my man of the match, but if you disagree, comment down below. The main thing is, Watford got the 3 points, and we're back up to 2nd.